do this week in auto history. It's a little bit early for that, but
I've got
let's
it
do
loaded up here.
All right, well, why don't you go ahead?
Do this.
Okay, do this, do that.
And do that. And do that.
Okay.
We're getting there. Now, on this date, this is Conrad stuff, and I think you and I watched a show on this not very long ago, Don. But on this date, in 1942, the production Ford bomber, the first production Ford bomber,
yes.
the B-24 Liberator, rolled off the assembly line at Ford's massive Willow Run plant in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Yep.
Approximately 18,500 units, including 8,685 manufactured by Ford. It rolled out on that day. It holds a record as the world's largest, most produced bomber ever. Multi-engine aircraft and American military aircraft history. And the show, if you ever see it, it's a 30-minute thing on the bomber in Willow Run. It actually is pretty interesting in the way that America came together. It really is.
Well, I will tell you, I was thoroughly impressed, first of all, by the factory itself, because they built that factory to make that bomber.
Yep.
And does the building still exist?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because it's massive.
What fascinated me is they had the property for the plant, and then when they started rolling out and building the plant, they didn't have enough property. They didn't want to pay taxes in the next county, so they built 2 turntables. So when the planes came out of the end of the factory, they put them on turntables, turned them 90 degrees to roll out, rather than going across the property.
Then they built the building in such it was an L shape.
Yeah.
Because they were just going to make it right straight, run it all right. Nope, they weren't going to go in the next county, so they jog the building 90 degrees.
Yep.
And
It's just a fascinating story. And they did it. And they built a bomber an hour. That was the whole goal.
Yeah.
1948, on this day, Australian Prime Minister Ben Chifley and 1,200 other people attended the unveiling of the first car to be manufactured entirely in Australia. An ivory-colored motor car officially designated as the 48-215, but finally known as what? The Holden FX.
Wow.
In 1945, the Australian government had invited Australians' auto part manufacturers to create an all-Australian car. General Motors Holden's Automotive, a car body manufacturer, obliged producing the 48-215, a 6-cylinder 4-door sedan. It was an instant success.
What year was that?
It was in 1948.
I had no
They built
clue.
100,000 of them and sold the first 5 years of production. What I have to say about that is crikey.
Crikey.
Yeah. That was a different show for a different day. In 1960, while the brand achieved relatively good success in the 50s, a recession at the end of the decade led in part to Chrysler's decision to cut the DeSoto. The fateful announcement came on November 18, 1960. The final DeSotos would roll off the assembly line at Chrysler's Jefferson Avenue plant on this day of the same year in 1960. The very last model was a 1961 two-door hardtop with a 361 cubic inch, 265 horsepower V8.
Actually, that's a pretty good-looking car.
It is. It could have been yours for $3,100. That was
kind of expensive, though, back in the day.
I was going to say, back then. Okay, in 1980, the legendary yet often... this isn't... he's got these out of order. That's a Cadillac.
Yeah, so do the Cadillac.
Well, there's no Cadillac on here. Legendary yet
That's your
often
Cadillac,
ridiculed...
isn't it?
No, that would be a great Cadillac. I'm going to move this forward. Because
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll do that. There it is. There's the big boy. Legendary yet often ridiculed Yugo began to move down the Yugoslavian assembly line on this day in 1980. That's pretty recent. While the car may not be looked upon as favorable, but due to design, safety, and performance issue, it caused quite a stir.
It looks like a VW Rabbit.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Both domestically and European and abroad. So that's this day in 1980. But I think the Cadillac was in 80 as well. But we'll move on. Okay. 1990, 132 feet below the English Channel, workers drill an opening the size of a car.
The Channel.
The Channel, yeah. This was no ordinary hole. It connected the two ends of the underwater tunnel linking Great Britain and European mainland for the first time in more than 8,000 years.
How would they know that?
I don't know. They've got records.
Really?
I think they Googled it.
Okay.
Just saying.